Released on July 20, 2023, the film Oppenheimer is already a box office success, grossing $174 million in its opening weekend alone. As you may already know, the story depicted in Christopher Nolan's film is based on real events, narrating the journey of theoretical physicist Julius Robert Oppenheimer. But why is this physicist so important? And what did he do that was so remarkable to have his story turned into a Hollywood movie? Well, J. Oppenheimer is simply the leading scientist behind the Manhattan Project, considered the father of the atomic bomb. Welcome to our channel, and in today's video, you will get to know the story behind Oppenheimer, along with the key details of the movie about the scientist responsible for the greatest invention of all time, which also became the most destructive of all and continues to pose a threat to humanity to this day. But before we proceed, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and leave a like if you enjoy the topic of this video. Also, let us know in the comments if you have already watched the film or if you are planning to watch Oppenheimer in theaters. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Julius Robert Oppenheimer. To understand how Oppenheimer became the father of the atomic bomb, we first need to delve into his history and what made him a renowned physicist and scientist even before the Manhattan Project. J. Robert Oppenheimer, known as the father of the atomic bomb, was born on April 22, 1904, in New York City, United States. As the son of Jewish immigrants, he had a childhood with a solid education, which fueled his passion for science from a young age. Born into an intellectual and affluent family, Oppenheimer had access to a privileged education from an early age. He attended the Ethical Culture Fieldston School, a progressive and humanistic institution that valued free inquiry and critical thinking. There, he received a comprehensive education, which helped shape his analytical mind and passion for knowledge. His academic journey was brilliant, and he demonstrated exceptional abilities, particularly in mathematics and sciences. After completing his studies, he enrolled at Harvard University in 1922, where he excelled in languages, philosophy, and, most importantly, physics. At Harvard, he took courses in various disciplines, but it was in physics that he found his true calling. During his time at the university, he had the opportunity to study under some of the leading scientists of the time, such as Percy Bridgman, who later became a Nobel Prize winner. His keen intelligence and immense thirst for learning made him a respected figure among his peers and professors. Through interactions with influential professors, Oppenheimer delved into the world of theoretical physics. His eager mind easily absorbed the complex concepts of the discipline, and he became particularly interested in issues related to quantum theory, a passion that continued to grow as he advanced in his studies. After graduating from Harvard, Oppenheimer continued his academic training in Europe, attending the University of Cambridge and the University of Göttingen in Germany. There, he had the opportunity to work with important theoretical physicists, deepening his knowledge and gaining a deeper understanding of the quantum theories emerging at the time. After completing his PhD in theoretical physics in 1927 at the University of Göttingen, Germany, Oppenheimer returned to the United States and began teaching at some universities. His reputation as a prominent theoretical physicist quickly grew, and he began receiving invitations to work at prestigious research centers. Gradually, the scientist became involved in projects and collaborations with other influential professionals, developing a broad network of contacts in the scientific community. His inquisitive mind and creative vision were crucial factors in his involvement in increasingly relevant projects. However, it was only in 1942, during World War II, that Oppenheimer would receive the golden opportunity of his career that would mark his name in history. It was in this year that the 38-year-old scientist was recruited for the famous Manhattan Project. The Manhattan Project was a billion-dollar government initiative aimed at building a nuclear weapon, specifically an atomic bomb. J. Robert Oppenheimer's involvement began in 1942 when he was recruited to lead the project. At that time, World War II was underway, and there were growing concerns that Nazi Germany might be developing its own nuclear weapon. Due to his prestige in the field of theoretical physics and his reputation as a brilliant scientist, Oppenheimer was chosen as the project's leader. He assumed the position of director of the Los Alamos Laboratory, located in New Mexico, which became the primary research and development center for the atomic bomb. As the director of the Los Alamos Laboratory, Oppenheimer had the responsibility of assembling a highly qualified team of scientists, engineers, and experts in various fields. He worked tirelessly to coordinate research activities and ensure that everyone involved worked closely together to achieve the common goal of developing the atomic bomb as quickly as possible. However, the project proved extremely challenging and required the collaboration of the greatest scientists of the time. One of the main problems faced was the enrichment of uranium and the separation of plutonium, as obtaining these elements elements was complex and crucial for the project, as they are the raw materials of the atomic bomb. During the project, advanced enrichment and purification techniques were needed to obtain sufficient quantities of these elements for the effective construction of the bomb. Another challenge for the team was the construction of the device, which required a deep understanding of nuclear physics and precise engineering to create sophisticated explosive devices necessary to initiate the nuclear chain reaction. Oppenheimer played a crucial role in making strategic decisions during the project, balancing all scientific and technical issues along with the ethical and political implications of developing such a powerful weapon. The pressure to complete the project was immense, as the United States was at war and facing significant challenges in Europe and the Pacific. Oppenheimer's leadership was instrumental in maintaining the motivation and dedication of the Los Alamos laboratory team, especially in the face of scientific obstacles and technical difficulties that arose during the development of the atomic bomb. His ability to inspire confidence and encourage collaboration among scientists was crucial to the project's success. But in 1945, after 3 years of intense work and significant scientific discoveries, the so-called era of nuclear bombs began. It was in the same year that Trinity, the first atomic bomb, was successfully tested. The Trinity device. The Trinity device was the name given to the first nuclear bomb successfully tested during the Manhattan Project. The test was a historic milestone as it was the first time humanity witnessed a controlled nuclear explosion. The test took place on July 16, 1945, in Alamogordo, New Mexico desert, a strategic location that allowed the test to be conducted in a remote and isolated area, minimizing risks to the nearby population. The device was an implosion bomb using plutonium, also known as a Fat Man bomb, which operated with a spherical core of plutonium surrounded by conventional explosives. At the moment of detonation, the explosives were triggered simultaneously, generating a shock wave that compressed the plutonium core to the center of the sphere, initiating an uncontrolled nuclear chain reaction, resulting in a nuclear explosion. The Trinity test was considerably successful, and the bomb released an immense amount of energy, creating a bright and devastating fireball that rose several hundred meters into the air. The explosion created a crater approximately 300 meters in diameter and produced a mushroom-shaped cloud that reached altitudes of over 12 kilometers. The success of the test confirmed the viability of nuclear technologies developed by the Manhattan Project, allowing the United States to proceed with plans to use atomic bombs in combat, culminating in the first and only nuclear attack on planet Earth. Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The use of the atomic bomb in Hiroshima and Nagasaki occurred in August 1945, towards the end of World War II, and marked the end of the conflict. After the successful tests of the bomb during the Trinity device, Oppenheimer and his team faced a crucial decision about the use of the new technology. The United States was at war with Japan and sought a way to end the conflict quickly and decisively. On August 6, 1945, the first atomic bomb was dropped on the Japanese city of Hiroshima, resulting in a devastating explosion that caused instant mass deaths and widespread destruction. More than 100,000 people were killed directly by the explosion and its immediate effects. With Japan still not surrendering, a second atomic bomb was dropped on August 9, 1945, on the city of Nagasaki, causing more deaths and destruction. These attacks led to Japan's unconditional surrender on August 15, 1945, ending World War II. The use of atomic bombs in Hiroshima and Nagasaki had a devastating and irreversible impact, with immense humanitarian consequences. The deaths, injuries, and material damage caused by the explosions and radiation marked history in a tragic way. Although Oppenheimer's leadership was instrumental in the success of the Manhattan Project and the creation of the atomic bomb, he also expressed concerns about the ethical implications of using these weapons. After the bombings, he became an active advocate for international control and non-proliferation of nuclear weapons, expressing fears about the danger these weapons could pose to humanity, which brought another problem for the scientist: the suspicion of treason. Consequences. After the end of World War II and the success of the Manhattan Project, J. Robert Oppenheimer went through a troubled period in his life due to accusations of communist sympathies and connections with Communist Party members, as he was known for his political complexity and intellectual positions. During his youth, Oppenheimer sympathized with some progressive political causes and was involved with left-wing movements. The scientist participated in socialist student activities while attending Harvard University, and in his youth, he had contacts with people with left-leaning political tendencies. During the Cold War, tensions between the United States and the Soviet Union were on the rise, and there was intense paranoia regarding espionage and communist influence in the United States. Oppenheimer, who maintained friendships and associations with scientists and scholars suspected of communist sympathies, attracted the attention of the FBI and the government. In 1954, Oppenheimer's case was brought before a government committee known as the House Un-American Activities Committee of the U.S. House of Representatives. He was accused of various irregularities, including negligence in not reporting the activities of colleagues with alleged communist ties and not demonstrating an adequate level of anti-communism. The trial was tense and controversial, with various witnesses giving testimonies and Oppenheimer vigorously defending himself against all accusations. Ultimately, the committee concluded that Oppenheimer did not pose an immediate threat to the national security of the United States, but the process resulted in the revocation of his security clearance and his removal from government advisory positions. The trial had a profound impact on Oppenheimer's career and reputation. He continued to work as a university professor and engage in scientific research, but the loss of his security clearance isolated him from certain projects and other opportunities. If the trial had taken place during World War II, Oppenheimer would not have been the chief scientist of the Manhattan Project, nor the father of the atomic bomb, and perhaps the necessary technology for nuclear energy would never have been developed. Certainly, various scientific advancements that occurred in the pursuit of the atomic bomb might not have been realized to this day. Redemption. Considering Oppenheimer's scientific contribution in the late 1950s and early 1960s, there was a movement of support for the scientist, defending his innocence and the important role he played in nuclear science development. Public opinion began to lean in his favor, and in 1963, U.S. President John F. Kennedy awarded Oppenheimer the Enrico Fermi Award for his contributions to science, which was an important step for the physicist to be respected in the United States again. Redemption came a few years before the physicist's death in February 1967 at the age of 62. In 2014, the U.S. Department of Energy awarded Oppenheimer the Medal of Honor for his scientific achievements and leadership in the Manhattan Project, officially restoring his recognition by the U.S. government. In recent years, Oppenheimer's figure continues to be the subject of academic studies, documentaries, and books that offer diverse perspectives on his life and legacy. His importance as a scientist and his political complexity are recognized, and his contribution to the history of science and World War II remains a topic of interest and debate among scholars and the general public, a fact that led to the release of a film depicting Oppenheimer's entire story in 2023. Now, it is possible to follow in theaters all the challenges regarding the life and, especially, the most important project in the life of the father of the atomic bomb. But what about you? Did you know all the details of the story behind Oppenheimer? Did you become more interested in the scientist's trajectory? Leave your response in the comments. I really want to know your opinion. Also, leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and of course, subscribe to the channel if you are not yet, and activate the notification bell to not miss any updates here on our channel. Thank you very much for watching until the end. A strong hug, and see you in the next video.